Hey guys, welcome into Wager Talk TV. This is the Every Game on the Board podcast for week number 13 in the Canadian Football League. I am, of course, Andrew McInnis, kicking things off with another great week of games here in the CFL. To break things down, a reminder to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Always hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Comment below what you are thinking about this week's games. And I'll tell you what, guys, between doing this and doing the CFL 2 and Out show, it's been great to bring CFL content to the Wager Talk platform. But not only just that, I want to let you guys know, realistically, this is the best time to bet on the Canadian Football League when nobody is paying attention anymore. There were some casuals jumping into it in the dog days of summer, but I'll tell you, the lines came out a few days ago, and there has not been much movement. There has not been much change. Weeks ago in the CFL, the odds board was lighting up like it was Christmas Day, but there is not as much attention on the CFL, and this is where we make our most money. I'm on a 10-3 run right now in the CFL, 6-1 with 5% plays. Let's dive in, give some quick picks on every single game this week in the CFL for week 13. Let's start things off. Current number, BC on the highway taking on the Montreal Alouettes. They are laying 3.5 as road favorites. Total at 46.5. This is a BC Lions team that has lost 3 of their last 4 games. Last week, head coach said, I don't know who this team was out there. I'm not sure which team I just watched. It wasn't the team that I know. And of course, they lost to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They didn't lead once either. Hamilton got the lead early on and never looked back. Vernon Adams Jr. battling an injury, not looking like himself, but I'll tell you what, it's been the defense that has been the biggest kind of tough thing to swallow here for this BC team. But I do think they bounce back and get going against this Montreal Alouettes team that's been very inconsistent, off kind of a rough week last week, and their offensive line looks very rough, which I think will make the difference in this one. The BC Lions pass rush will get to them, and I will lay the points with BC this week. If you like parlays, if you like doing 2-teamers, I never really recommend this, but I think the -180 is a good bet on its own for BC, taking the point spread out of the picture. But if you want to find a parlay, a 2-teamer, find a dance partner for the BC Lions, that's the way I would go. I also do lean towards the under in this game, as I feel like this will be one of the BC's best defensive performances we've seen in the past few weeks. Keeping things going down the list in the CFL for week 13, we have the Winnipeg Blue Bombers laying 7.5 on the road in Saskatchewan for rivalry week, also known as the Banjo Bowl in Saskatchewan, taking on the Roughriders. Saskatchewan, of course, home underdogs of 7.5. Total sits at 47.5 in this one. Saskatchewan, they're rested right now. They're getting healthier, but unfortunately, their quarterback situation isn't getting much healthier. However, Jake Dolegala is off his best performance that we've seen out of him all year. Multiple passing touchdowns, a ton of completions, no interceptions. The run game with Jamal Murrow looked really great. And to me, looking at Winnipeg coming off the big performance they had last week over Montreal, they got up early and they did not look back. They beat down the Alouettes. This is one of those spots here where I feel like despite it being a third-string QB, it's tough for me to get behind Dolegala because I do think that Mason Fine and Trevor Harris are better quarterbacks than he is. I think that the Saskatchewan Roughriders at home in rivalry week getting over a touchdown can keep things close, can hang around against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Winnipeg's defense has looked a lot sharper recently, but if Saskatchewan can get going, they can establish pressure to the quarterback, and their defense can make a few plays. I feel like this is the week where they'll get up for it at home. They'll catch Winnipeg off guard, and they'll hang around and cover this point spread. Guys, let's take the points that we're getting, to be clear here. Take Saskatchewan plus the 7.5 points. Moving on to our 2 games on Monday. Reminder, it's an interesting schedule. We've got a game Saturday, game Sunday, and 2 games on Monday this week in the CFL for week number 13. I'm going to go with the Argonauts -8. This was my free play of the week at wagertalk.com. Look, guys, I'm not buying what I'm seeing from Hamilton after 1 week. They beat the BC Lions. Good for them. Tip my hat. A broken clock is right twice a day. And I'm curious to see if that broken clock can be right again this week. And I don't think it will be. Hamilton's offense looked good. They made some big plays. But to be honest, I don't like to use this adage too much. But BC also just looked bad last week. Toronto have scored 30 plus in 5 of their last 6 games. They only had one down week pretty much all year, and it was against the Stamps. And they came back and crushed the Stamps. Or not crushed them, but put up a ton of points against them. I believe it was 39 points against them in the next meeting, which was last week. This is a Stampeder or an Argonauts team that is going to be able to put up so many points that I don't think Hamilton can trade points with them and compete in a ball game that they're in with them. Last time they covered this point spread, I do not think things will change in this game. Let's lay the points, lay the -8 here with the Argonauts on the road. And let's be honest, guys, not much of a road game. Talking about Toronto and Hamilton, a 45-minute drive away from each other. Not that big of a deal. I will take the points, lay the points here with Toronto -8. Let's jump into the last game of the week. We have Edmonton and Calgary. Trey Ford, the player of the week in the CFL, the player of the week for the Edmonton Elks. What took the Elks so long to put Trey Ford in as the starting quarterback for the Edmonton Elks? I have no idea. But he has looked great for them. They're coming off a win against the Ottawa Red Blacks, but it was also another over for the Edmonton Elks. Their games continue to go over, especially against teams that aren't top of the leaderboard. Against some of the other teams, they are kind of getting stopped. But ever since Trey Ford took over, the offense is moving faster. He's moving on his feet, keeping things guessing for the defense and making things a lot harder for them to understand what's coming. This Calgary team is in pretty much a pivotal game right now. I mean, you're playing one of the league's bottom teams in the Edmonton Elks. If they can't beat them, they're in big, big trouble right now. But this is a spot where Calgary has put up points in. And I talked about earlier when I talked about Toronto, Calgary is pretty much over the past 2 or 3 years, a team leading the league in pretty much close game losses. They know how to put up points. They just always lose in those games. They're a team that the offense can come together, but they can't seem to get that great, finishing drive in a game. But I want my money on the over here. We're going to go over 46.5. And frankly, this is one of the lowest totals on the board this week. When Calgary and Edmonton to get together for the last game of the week, I think the best bet to look at here is the over. But also, I will be looking at the Edmonton Elks in the first half. So many great picks to break down in the CFL. We got 4 games. We got a Saturday, we got Sunday, and we got 2 games on Monday, rivalry week here in the CFL. Guys, I'm on a 10-3 CFL run across all plays. 6-1 on 5% plays this year. I lost my very first 5% play, and I won the next 6. So feeling very good. And right now I have a package available to get all of my NFL prop sides totals, and I'm throwing in the CFL season for free. No coupon code needed. Go to wagertalk.com, wt.buzz/am, and hop on board with me. Guys, all the money spends the same. CFL, college football, NFL, whatever it might be. The goal here is to make money, and the CFL right now will do that for you. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and good luck.